Today we are going to discuss a very important topic for the examination point of view. The topic is residential status of an individual. The residential status of an individual can be OR, NOR and NRI. Now what is OR? OR means ordinary resident. NOR means not ordinary resident. NRI means non-resident individual. Now, for income tax point of view, first of all, it is very significant to determine whether an individual is a OR, NOR or NRI. Now we will discuss that how we can see that an individual is falling in one of the three categories. Now see, for this we have to determine the residential status of an individual. Residential status means for how many number of days a particular person is residing or staying in India, within the territory of India. Now see, for becoming OR or NOR, there are few conditions which we have to study. There are two type of conditions. One are basic conditions. We will refer the basic conditions as BC, and the another are additional conditions. There are two basic conditions and there are two additional conditions. For determination of the residential status of any individual, first of all, we will see whether the individual is fulfilling basic condition or not. Then we will go further. We will see whether the individual is fulfilling additional conditions or not. Now I will discuss what are the basic conditions. Now basic conditions are: number one, the individual should reside in India or should have stay in India for at least 182 days in all or more in the relevant previous year. So in relevant previous year means the year for which we are doing the calculation of the taxation. For in that relevant previous year, the person should physically present in India for at least 182 days. Or the second basic condition is that in the relevant previous year, the person should reside for 60 days at least in India, plus in the 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year in all, he should at least reside for 365 days in India. So both these things, they constitute the second basic condition. So if you are becoming a resident of India, the person should fulfill one of the two basic conditions, either this one or this one. Then he will be said to be resident of India. But if the person is not fulfilling any of the two basic conditions, he will be said to be non-resident of India. Now, this was regarding whether the individual is resident or non-resident. Now, the second thing comes whether the individual is ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. For determining that, we have to see further whether the individual is fulfilling additional conditions or not. Now, what is the first additional condition? The first additional condition is this, that the person should be resident of India for at least for 2 years out of preceding 10 years. He should be resident of India. The person is not staying in India, the rule is resident of India. Resident of India means he should have satisfied one of the two basic conditions in 2 years out of 10 years preceding the relevant previous year. So this is the first additional condition that he should satisfy. Now about the second additional condition, he should have stayed in India for at least 730 days preceding the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. Okay, so at least he should have a stay of 730 days in all, or more than 730 days in all 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. So this is the second additional condition. So for becoming honorary resident, an individual should fulfill both the additional conditions. If he is fulfilling one of the basic condition and both of the additional conditions, he will set to be honorary resident of India. So, in nutshell, I would like to say that for becoming an OR, ordinary resident, an individual should fulfill one of the basic condition, plus both AC, two of the additional conditions. Then he will be OR. But if a person is fulfilling one BC plus 1 AC or 0 AC, he will not be OR. Right? So for becoming OR, he should fulfill this one of the condition. So if he is in this category, he will be an NOR, not honorary resident. And if he is not fulfilling both of the basic conditions, he will be non-resident individual. Now, regarding the number of days, that how he should spend the number of days in India, it is not compulsory that the individual should stay in India at a stretch. He can come, he can go again, then again he can come and go again. And even it is not necessary that he should have stayed in India only at one particular place. He can reside anywhere in India and not at a stretch. And moreover, regarding the basic condition, one more thing I would like to say that regarding the second basic condition, we have seen that the person should have stayed in the relevant previous year for 60 days. The second basic condition will not be applying in few particular cases. Now, which are of these cases? One case is when a person is going abroad for any employment or as a member of the crew of a ship, or the person is of an Indian origin and coming first time to India. In all these three cases, the second basic condition will not be applying. In these cases, only the first basic condition will be applying. So, now I would like to say that why we are studying this, why the residential status is necessary, because as per Indian income tax law, the incidence of tax, it depends upon the residential status. Incidence of tax means that how much tax liability is going to be levied on OR, NOR or NRI, because OR is to pay more tax as compared to NOR and NRI. So we can say that the incidence of tax is more in case of OR, comparatively less in case of NOR and less in case of NRI. So we are having different rules for this, and that is why this topic is very significant to study for the income tax point of view, and it is also very important from the examination point of view.